In this lesson, we're going to look at the importance of catch lights and how to enhance them and create them and modify them and edit them and things like that. Take a look at the image that we have here, and this image has nice catch lights. The catch lights are these little white highlights in the eyes, and they're reflecting the light source. And these are not just from photographs, but even back, famous paintings from the old masters, they would add these little catch lights. It just adds a bit of I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say sizzle, but it adds sparkle, I guess is a good word. It adds sparkle to the eyes and interest, and really helps capture the attention of the person viewing the image. In this case, he's got two very, very nice catch lights, and that's great. It's reflecting the softbox that was used. This was a shot with a rectangular softbox, and you can actually see, if I zoom in here, you can actually see the rectangular shape of the softbox that was in the image, and it's right where it should be in that either 10 or 12 o'clock spot. Now, that's great in this image. What happens when you have an image that looks kind of flat and doesn't have these catch lights? Well, we actually add them in. So let's go ahead and open up a second image, and I'll show you what I mean. So this image was kind of taken in the shade, and although you can see a little bit of a horizon line in her eyes, and she has very nice eyes, but that little spark, that little catch light is just missing. And although the person viewing it might not go, oh, what's wrong with this photo? It's missing the catch light. They wouldn't probably be able to tell you. A photographer would say, oh, the catch light's missing. Your average subject wouldn't, but it just makes for a more pleasing photo. So it's our job to create pleasing photos of our subjects. So we're going to add the catch lights back in. One way you can do that, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways, but one way you can do that is to actually go steal the catch lights and create your own based off another photo that has them. And in this case, this guy's got them. So let's go and create our own catch lights based on his. In fact, let's zoom in a little bit larger. You're going to start off by creating a new blank layer over here in the Layers palette. Just click the new layer icon. Then you're going to go and you're going to have to kind of draw this shape. And there's a number of different ways to do it. I'm going to show you the way that I think works the easiest and the best. And I just want to give you a heads up, it uses the pen tool. Even if you've never used the pen tool before, this will be very easy for you to do. You're going to follow along. You're just going to click 4 or 5 times and we'll be done. So if you've ever been like, I'm not sure I can use the pen tool, I don't know how it works, well, here's your chance. So go over here and grab the pen tool in the toolbar. And then up top in the options bar, there are 3 icons in the upper left-hand corner. You need to click on the second icon. The first icon draws a shape layer. We don't really need that. We want just a path. So you're going to click on the second icon, which is the little icon with a pen in the middle of it, and now it's going to draw a path for us. Now, let's zoom in a little closer. Let's go to 200%. It's going to look a little pixelated. And you're going to trace around this using this pen. So you're going to click once, then you're going to move down here, and you're going to click, hold, and drag. So you clicked once, you just move your cursor, you're not holding the mouse button down, you've let go of the mouse button, and you're going to click, hold, and drag straight downward. And you see the little handles pull out? Now, if you move your cursor to the left, it's going to bend inwards. If you move out to the right, it's going to bend outwards. You're going to bend just a little bit to the left, so it just bends in just a little bit. Alrighty? Now, pretty easy so far, right? Now we're going to change direction. When you change direction, like go in a completely different direction with the pen tool, it freaks it out, but here's how you get around it. You're going to hold the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on PC, and you're going to click back on that point. So Option, click. On PC, it's Alt click. Then you're just going to draw a straight line over to here, like that. All right? Now you're going to go up here. And since we draw a straight line, we're not going to run into that little bendy problem. That little problem where we have to use the Option key and Alt key only happens when you make a big curve. And here we're going to make a big curve. You're going to go click, hold, and drag upward, and you're going to bend a little to the left. All right, so you're moving your cursor to the right, which actually bends it to the left a little bit, and we're going to bend it just a bit like that. Now, if I go over to the other one and just click, it's going to make it bend upward, so that's why we go Option, click on that point on Mac, Alt click, and then we come back. Notice how when your cursor gets there, a little circle appears in the bottom right corner. That's to let you know you've come full circle. You're back to where you started. So now you can click, hold, and drag to bend it just a little bit. There we go. You've got your shape. So that's all there really is to creating the shape. Once you've gotten that far, now we need to turn that shape into a selection. So you can press Command Return on Mac or Control Enter on PC, and it makes your selection makes your path into a selection as you see here. So now let's go up here. Make sure your foreground color is set to white. So press the letter D, which sets your default colors back. Then press X, which makes white your foreground color. So white is now your foreground color, and we're going to fill that selection on our empty blank layer with white by pressing Option Delete or MPC Alt Backspace. Now you can deselect, and you've got your extremely bright catch light. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take that catch light and you're literally going to click on it, drag and drop it onto your other photograph. And then let's zoom it in. It's going nice and tight, and we're going to use it as our catch light. We'll just kind of drag it over here where we want it, up in maybe the 10 o'clock position. Maybe a little bit higher like that. All right, and now, of course, we want catch lights in both eyes. So here's what you're going to do. Go over to the, well, first off, let's expand this so we don't see big, giant, creepy eye behind there. There we go. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to the Layers palette. You're going to hold the Command key on Mac or the Control key on PC, and you're going to click right there to put a selection around that first catch light you created. Let's zoom in so you can see that better. There we go. You're going to put a selection around it. Now you can hold the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on PC and just drag yourself a copy, and we'll drag it straight over here now that it's selected and make it up a little higher. There we go. And now deselect. So now you've got two catch lights, one on each eye. Now what you're going to need to do is back off so you can kind of see what you're doing, and then we're going to lower the opacity because obviously that looks way, way too bright. We're going to have to lower the opacity because it's just a reflection. It's not two big white spots on someone's eye. And lower it to where you think it looks good to you. The proper placement of catch lights is really, there isn't an international rule about it. When I'm telling you that's the 10 o'clock position, the 12 o'clock position, those are pretty standard positions for where you'd see them show up. If you're using a reflector, you'll see that kind of appear on the bottom half of the subject's eyes. So for a light that would be up higher, it would be in the top half. And I generally place them in the 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock position. So they're either going to be on this side or that side. There is no right or wrong answer here. You can place on either side that you like. And we lower the opacity. Also, if you want to, if the lights look a little too sharp for you, you can apply just a little bit of blur. So you could go up here and go Filter, Blur, choose Gaussian Blur, and put either a 1 pixel blur just on that layer where the catch lights are, or maybe a half pixel blur, something very, very subtle. So there you've got your catch lights. Now, so you're wondering, do I have to do that every time that I find a photo with missing catch lights? You know, what if I have 10 photos I needed to do? Well, I'm going to give you another trick that's going to help you out. All right, so let's get rid of this layer first, and we'll start over. Let's go back to the giant eye over here. All right, do you remember when you made that path? Go to the Paths palette and click. Remember that path you made, the one that's called Work Path? If you click on it, it comes back. So first, do that. Go to the Paths palette, and then click on Work Path. Then you're going to go under the Edit menu and go choose Define Custom Shape, because now we're going to add this little shape to Photoshop. So you'll never have to go find another, well, I don't want to say never, but you won't have to go finding other catch lights. You'll have it built into Photoshop, and that'll all make sense in just a second. So for now, go to the Edit menu and choose Define Custom Shape. All right, give this shape a name, and then click OK. All right, now we don't really need this anymore because we've got it built into Photoshop. So let's go in here. Let's add a new blank layer. We'll go over here to the Layers palette, add a new blank layer, and the next time I need catch lights, make sure my foreground color is set to white. Then I'm going to go in here and choose the Custom Shape tool right there, the Custom Shape tool. When you choose a Custom Shape tool, you get to choose shapes from this little library right here. And the very last shape in the list will be that shape you just saved. So you just go click on it. You've got that shape now. Then you go in here, and oh, one more little thing. There are 3 icons up here. Remember, the first icon created a shape layer. We didn't want that. The second icon creates a path. We want, in this case, the third icon. So when we're using the Custom Shape tool, we want to click on the third icon up in the options bar. Then you click and drag out any size catch light you like right there. Then we'll do the same little trick. Command click on the layer on Mac, Control click on PC. Then you're going to hold the Option key on Mac or the Alt key on PC, get your Move tool, and drag yourself a copy over there. So now you have it built right into Photoshop. You can deselect, come and lower your opacity, and you've got instant catch lights anytime you want them. And of course, you could always add a little bit of Gaussian blur if you thought something to that extra little sizzle in the eyes that just really. Now it looks kind of obvious. You're thinking, oh, well, that looks really like you painted it there. Had I opened up this image in the first place, since it's traced off a real softbox, you wouldn't go, oh man, that's so fakey. I know. Anytime you do a retouch, unfortunately, when you see the before and after, it looks a little obvious. But if I had opened this originally and said, hey, take a look, do you think what do you think's wrong here? It'd have been a while before you went, oh, I think the catch lights are fake. You just assumed, oh, those are the reflections from the light. Okay, so that's a quickie on adding catch lights. Now, there is another technique that we're going to look at in a different lesson on how to enhance catch lights that are already there.